Okay.
All right, you have everything going?
Yeah.
All right, we will call the meeting of Land Bank Authority to order. And so we have Mike Enders, Maurice Cobb, Terry Davis here, of course myself, and we're expecting John Fabian on the phone and at some point Fred. They wanted to walk in here, but at this point they are not here, but we do have a quorum. So before we get to public participation, let's welcome Mike Enders here.
Hi, John.
And
Hello.
Hey guys.
John, we just started through roll call, and we're just welcoming our newest member. And Mike Enders, it's his first meeting. He's been able to come to after being appointed, I guess, last month or at the end of February.
Yeah, February. Yeah.
And so first time we've met, but it's great to have you here. I'm not sure if everyone got a chance to pick out if it was sent out, but I know I saw your kind of biography and experience, and I think you're going to be a great,
Thank you.
Have a great contribution on this board. So we're all happy to get to know you and welcome you here.
Forward to it.
Yeah.
Forward to it.
Great.
Good learning experience.
Yeah. Well, hopefully. Cool. Not sure. We'll see. But welcome.
So
Welcome here, and of course, you are on redevelopment authority as well. So that I'm sure they told you.
yeah.
You're not upfront, but this board comes tagging along with it.
Yep. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
members get double duty coming into here. And then of course we can't move on without the acknowledgement that this is George Connor's last meeting. I have been on boards going back to the original Housing Authority, Redevelopment Authority combo with George, and through the transitions here, and also gaming board for a whole number of years with George. But you're going to be missed. You're going to be missed.
I'll miss it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, your contributions, to the county, to economic development, to community development are immeasurable. And it's going to be felt. And whoever ultimately steps into this role has really large shoes to fill.
Hopefully Vince will take the job.
Interim.
Vince, you're gonna like it. You're gonna like it.
Well, and thanks, Vince. If you don't know Vince Pease is here. You're the deputy chief clerk, which comes with a whole lot of responsibilities that don't include this office on a day-to-day basis. And now you get to have that included in here. So thanks for coming to the meeting today.
Of course.
I think we all look forward to working with you. And anything you need from us, I'm sure I'll speak for everybody here. Obviously, we're open and want to make this board as productive and useful to the county as possible. So we're all here to, in your service to make sure that we're doing the right thing here.
I appreciate that.
So thanks.
Or vice versa. You guys need anything from me?
Help yourself to some goodies since it's George's last meeting. I thought we'd treat him a little extra special today.
Dunkin' Donuts. I mean, what says love more than Dunkin' Donuts?
Like I told Vince and Deborah and Tim, I'll be around, so I'll be here for questions or whatever. I mean, as long as they don't continue on after a year. I would say.
You have that right somewhere?
We'll put it in writing.
Uh,
Yeah, but we want the office to be successful, and we got a great staff, and all our boards. You guys have been great to work with over the years, and that. Like I said, you and I started on this board. We were at the Housing Authority years ago, and Commissioner stripped this board and brought it down here to be more active. Those guys, they just wanted to do like sewer and water projects, CDG, and no development projects. So when we brought it down here, we started development projects, multiple plans, partnerships, a lot of projects we've done over the years. And we're looking for our strategic plan that we did. We've done most of those projects in that plan. So we got a lot.
What set of commissioners was that?
That was Commissioner Hayes, DeFrancesco, and Hartwick
Okay.
that stripped this board and brought it down here to this office. It was back in, 09?
Yeah.
10.
Yeah, the redevelopment authority was really a repository of Agnes properties. I think it was created before that, but that's really what it did.
Yeah.
And sat at the housing authority, and we would open the meeting, close the meeting. Hey, Fred.
Morning.
It's Fred. And that was really it. If there was something, you have to put insurance every year on those properties, or somebody would come in and say, hey, that little strip of land is next to my house, can I have it? You know, we would have to work something through on that, but really, there was nothing happening. And so in, the 2009 period, it was moved away from the housing authority and brought into the economic development office and the more direct activity of the county. And then of course this board, the land bank, got added in the legislature, state legislature created the ability to do these, and it just kind of all came together. George has been with it from the beginning.
And these two
Minding the
boards,
ship.
are kind of, brother, sister, whatever you want to call them, but at one point we merged the two. Remember? But I think we didn't because you had to have two separate audits. That's why we did. Merge the boards. I mean, they basically had the same capacities, the same abilities. So, I mean, it really could be merged. We called Vince and I, Deborah, yesterday with the state and bank, kind of like a nonprofit. Discussed projects with land banks, and we were talking about what we've done since inception. So, they'll be engaging with you guys in the future.
And it's always worth noting, this was the first land bank created in the state. So Dauphin County was first out of the box to get this thing going. And there was a change, I think, to the law that actually put these kind of powers under redevelopment authority. If they, so there's clearly a tie, redevelopment authority, land banks. And a lot of places probably kind of keep them sort of that way, but our history is a little different since we were early out of the box to create this thing. Yeah, well, George, we're gonna miss you.
Thank you, man. I'll
Not
miss
gonna
you
be the
guys.
same.
I'll miss you too.
I'm sure someone will come in here and.
Gonna miss you, Connor.
Yeah, but
Thank you. Thanks, John. Appreciate it.
Is there a big party?
No,
This is it right here.
There's some snacks over here.
I'm sure if you just go out somewhere in Susquehanna Township on Friday night or Saturday, you'll find something out there going on with George.
There are plenty of options now.
Yeah, that's right. All right, public participation. There's nobody here. Approval of minutes. So we have two sets of minutes.
So we don't, we just have February, I apologize, I did not get around to doing March's, just,
You're right.
so if we could table those to next month.
Well, we could do the 12th.
February's
February
correct.
12th, right. All right, so we have February 12th meeting minutes.
I'll make a motion to accept them.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Aye.
12 minutes are adopted, and we'll look at the 12th and these minutes of them.
Sorry about that, that's okay.
Executive session,
No.
in executive session, financial review.
March financials, I'll be presenting those at the May 2026. I'd like to give myself the opportunity to prepare for the financials. If I start the precedent of preparing or providing the financials only the second Thursday when we meet, it'll give me a very little window to be able to get them done or get them done adequately. So
Yeah, that's fine.
that's kind of where we're at right now.
And, I will say this, particularly since it's sitting across from me, and I harp on this every single meeting that we've had. But now today is probably even more relevant given actions from yesterday. This board and redevelopment authority, we'll talk about it after this, they have both survived on gaming grants. We do not make money here. Our activities, the way we function and what we've done has not been in a kind of a profit's the wrong word, but excess revenue that's not been our mode. Most of what we do costs money. We survive on grants, that make projects go. And so our administrative activities, one, paying back the county for services at the office, paying, of course, all of our consultants and legal representation, all the things that kind of make us go really are have been funded through gaming funds for the last 7, 8 years at least, from when this board was initially funded back in 2009, or really this was 2013. We were not included in what was at least presented, recommended from the gaming board. Now, I don't know where all that's gonna go. I have no insight into any of that. Don't care to, but it's something we need to keep an eye on. We do, Land Bank does have some excess funds, some surplus funds that we still have that we can continue to draw on. We have not had excessive activity in Land Bank recently. It's been more redevelopment authority. It always seems to go back and forth. That could flip at any point again. But we need to be mindful of that, because of that's something we have to talk through with the county commissioners, see where they want to go. But at some point, we run out of funds. So I'll kind of I'll leave it at that. But it's a critical issue that we ran into a significant issue when we approached the state hospital property, however many years ago, that was 2016, 2017, as a potential project. And that's really when we started to utilize gaming funds, because there was no way we could, do what we needed to do without having those kind of extra operations. So,
And all that being said, like I said on the call, talking about all the state land banks, the state of Pennsylvania, whatever, it was like 40 or something.
Yeah, she might have said 39.
39 land banks. They all receive a direct allocation from either their county or their city, whoever it may be. So our model is a little different. I think she said there was only one other land bank that received gaming dollars. So that being said, if the commissioners don't approve the award, I think there needs to be a reach out to the commissioners for possibly unrestricted dollars or something.
Yeah.
For admin dollars for the land bank and the government authority.
Yeah.
And the request was for $250 on application for both authorities. So I think that's what we have to do, and we did that before. Before we received the $80, we would request dollars.
yeah, and we would receive dollars
From the
that
general
way.
fund.
Right.
Right.
It was just shifted sort of the gaming as a source of revenue. Like a lot of other, because I served on gaming board, so I saw Parks and Rec would come in, emergency, not emergency management, would come in. There were different areas where, especially county administrative functions, were being funded through gaming rather than general fund activities, and that's kind of what we fit. So just want to make, I hit it every time. Tom Ward's not here to stare me down anymore to tell me to move on, so I just keep talking. So, all right, Tim. It is important. It is important. All right, so next month we'll look at bills and financials, and we'll be on that pattern then. Okay, great. Any questions on that? All right, new business. So we have a resolution authorizing removal of George from bank accounts and then adding Vince as our interim executive director, our bank, this First National Bank, for this board. And we need to do that. We require 2 signatures on every check. And that puts us back into. Questions on that? Not, is there a motion to approve? Okay. Okay. Is there a second? Marisa made the motion. Is there a second?
Whoever's on the phone.
John, you say it? Okay. Thank you. All those in favor say aye.
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 Have to start.
Any opposed?
Get your name in the book.
Okay, that motion has approved. All right.
There you go.
The second one, it probably takes a little more discussion. the ZNA has been our auditor for as long as I can remember. We last hired them several years ago through an RFP process. And they retained that contract, having been the auditor for a number of years before that as well. We're in a position where an audit is, they need to commence an audit. And their contract, their last contract has expired. I think it's something, George's last week, he'd say fell through the cracks. But I think something just with what's been churning in the office, people leaving, people coming in, it just didn't get brought to us to be able to run a full process and select them all, which we generally have done. But we are in that position. ZNA's been our auditors. They've agreed to hold their costs of what they've been, so we can get these audits done, which we need for the state, we need for the county, to be able to get completed, because we roll up into the county, and it's important that those get done for their bond ratings and everything else. So our suggestion is that we just extend it 1 year, and then we look to do the RFP. It's really, I guess, an RFQ more than an RFP, because it is a professional service. So professional service, we don't have to do any kind of a bidding process on these at all. We can just select whoever we wanted. But ZNA has done a good job for us. They obviously know what we do and have that history. So I think we could do this, get this done, and then move forward get it done in a timely fashion, and then just move forward with the RFP for the future. But want to throw that to make sure people are comfortable. We obviously have to approve this before we move forward.
We were going to do the RFP last year, and they work for our other authorities, the IDA, EDC, Land Bank, and they have the county as well. So that being said, we were going to do the RFP last year. We didn't. We're going to do it this year, but what happened was the county needs us to do the audit prior to their audit being done, which is a May 31st deadline date to get it done. So the problem was we could have done the RFP. It just we didn't have enough time to complete it, sign it before we get the county office done. So the extension is going to allow for the auditors to do the audit for these authorities, so we can get them over to the county so they can get their audit completed.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have to. All right.
For Land Bank, because Land Bank's on a calendar year.
Yeah.
This would be the audit for 2025.
So the deadline for this is May 31st this year?
Yeah, for the county. The county's audit has to be.
Not this one.
Ours done.
Because this guy says he's not gonna be done till September. In this, what I read.
That's something different.
Oh, that's not the audit?
No, right, that's different, correct? Are you talking, that's different, yeah,
Yeah.
that's, the independent contractor?
Yeah, that you reviewed that, that's for
a
something
different agreement.
different.
Oh, okay.
Nothing to do with that, right?
Yeah.
All right, it was an
Sorry.
audit for, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, separate
Yeah.
project.
Yeah.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, I think I saw them. I think I didn't look at them, but these were sent out.
Yes.
Contracts were sent out. I think in part of the packet.
Yesterday?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I swear I thought we gave them all this.
No,
No.
you had raised it with me last month, and we pushed it to this
Oh,
month.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah, we had. Yeah, I think you did it at IBA. Yeah. Any questions on this? You feel comfortable moving forward? Fortunately, we have had clean audits throughout our entire fortunate history. The opposite is never a good thing.
No. I think we probably don't have a choice.
That's
Okay.
the problem. Yeah. Like I said, it's the time frame.
What's the cost of this audit?
It's like 12,000 something.
Yeah.
They've kept, like I said, they've held their prices.
Okay.
Yeah, this has fallen into a time and material rate. And, they've held that, but I think you're right, that is where they've fallen for past years, and I don't expect that it's gonna be different.
10,815.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. We would have to do it. These costs are high. So given our scale, but I mean, when we've RFQ'd, and this is where they come in. You know, these government audits do get pricey.
And then the contract extension is just for until when?
It's just a 2025 audit.
Okay, so until when is it done? And there's a couple months from.
I think it should just be, well, our conversation was just a 2025 audit. This will be done, this audit will be done this year by July 7th. But and everything will be reported no later than September 30th. Yeah, George, I'd only support a 1 year.
In this fair.
Then she did send an extension letter on.
So if we need to adjust that, I'd only recommend we do this for 1 year. And then we do the RFQ and get the additional.
What the extension letter
I would
was,
agree with that statement.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
what the extension letter was for, RGEC.
Yeah. Well, we can tidy that piece up. I mean, at the end of the day, I think we make a motion to approve a contract extension to do the 2025 audit. And then I think, you know, I know we have plenty of examples, even with RFQ, we could probably pull from the past and get that out there. Shouldn't take
Yeah, it's
very
already,
long.
it's already,
Yeah, it doesn't take long for companies to come out and,
the RFQ's done.
Yeah.
Because we were.
right,
It's just an account.
right.
That's all.
Okay. All right, any other questions? No, is there a motion to approve a 1 year extension for ZNA to accomplish the 2025 audit for the Land Bank Authority? Okay, motion made by Mike, is there a second? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right. Carries. Old business, the demo report.
So, George, did you want
No, go ahead.
to? The revenue for the month of March was $20,400. We have not gotten any additional applications for demo projects.
Okay.
Kayla has done the Steel High School District resolution or agreement, I'm sorry. So it's in front of Matt to sign, so that can
Mhm.
move forward and.
Okay, great. Questions on the demo report? I mean, we are building up a pretty good fund. Yeah, that's a good, so Mike, we, a number of years ago, I guess we go back to probably 2016, 2017. Again, the state legislature passed a law that allowed counties to defer or to redirect a portion of anything that's filed, fees that are filed when you record a document, with the recorder with the recorder, it could be a mortgage, could be a deed, land development plans, so anything that's going in there, they recorded typically has a fee to it. I forget the percent,
It's $15.
$15, so it's a flat.
So.
Those are directed to a demolition fund. And
Okay.
and that comes into the land bank. That can be used for any demolition project within the county. And we've put some guide rails,
Okay,
of course, on
so
that.
any mortgage or what you just, all those that you
Yeah.
So if you buy a house, you
$15 off of
refinance your
each
house.
one.
Yeah, when you refinance your house, if you buy a house is sold, whatever, when they record that mortgage or deed at the recorder of deeds office, it's like $100 or something. $15 comes out of that and it goes strictly for these demo.
We brought in as much as, 21 when there was a lot of activity, 350,000 came into the fund. In quiet years, it's been, 225. We did 230, 220 in 23, 24 when rates started going higher. And last year, that peaked up a little bit. We got 241,000, and this year we seem to be kind of on that same track. We have used it for a number of projects, and we've refined the kind of the rules on it over time. But basically, we're looking for projects that have an end use that's established, something that certainly has to get rid of blight. It can't just be a non-blighted property that someone just wants to take down for a different use. It's really meant to address blight.
Okay.
The use could be something as simple as it's really a blighted property that's causing a significant problem in a community. Say a borough council has come forward and said, we just need to get rid of this thing, and it's really not a great highest and best use. But that's not been the dominant kind of project. The ones we really like are, there's demolition, and that's going to create a new project, create jobs, investment, so forth. It can be internal demolition. We have done some of those where it's not knocking down a full structure, but gutting a property.
Okay.
And with redevelopment. We have a contract that sets time limits that, you have to establish, this is what I'm gonna do. And I'm gonna do it within this period of time. That's typically, Kayla, 2 years.
Well,
We try to do it
12,
case by
yeah.
case, but we do like 12
12
months.
months is what we like to see
Okay.
as far as.
Okay.
And we've
It depends on the project.
It does, I would say 12 to 18.
But we want to see something that's not off 20 years or a thought or maybe an idea. It's, no, I have financing in place. This is just the front piece to it to get the demolition done, helps to trigger the rest of it. And then we have clawback provisions that if you don't do what you said you're going to do, you have to do it.
Yeah, okay.
So far, we haven't had to do that. A couple sitting out there.
No,
That we might have to.
pretty good.
But we've been really good. We've been really good. We just have one that got tied up in court. We're kind of keeping a close eye on to see where ultimately it goes. But we're serious about that. Like, if they didn't do what they're supposed to do,
And
we
this-
want the money back.
Yeah.
in the state, obviously, Governor Wolf created this program back in 2017. 16 or 17. So when they created this program, it was a great program, but they didn't put any guidelines. So there was no application process. There was no agreement.
Does it have a
That's
Well, does it have a definition of it's like a legal definition of what a blighted property is? Does it include that?
Yes, there is.
well, yeah.
Okay.
Well, see, back to Matt's
But
point,
the
there's 9 criteria that qualify something to be eligible to be used for the demo fund. You have to have 3 of the 9 criteria, right? So yes, there is. But that being said, they didn't supply us with an application form. There was no grant agreements. And that's back to what we were saying to you. Like some of these programs, they didn't have that stuff.
Mhm.
We have to create this. So we didn't create a grant agreement until maybe a couple of years down the line after we did a couple of projects and we were like, we got to tighten this up a little bit. But the state never really regulated this program. It's kind of like, if you create your own revenue source, here's the program. All right, you guys got to come up with your own regulations, your compliance documents. So we tighten this program up. We have another program like Vince and I were talking, doesn't even have a grant agreement. It's just an application process. So, that's what happens to a lot of these programs that are created. They don't come with guidelines and things that you need to do to make sure the program doesn't get screwed up, right? So, I'm sorry.
No, that's good. There's a lot of flexibility in what we can do in this program, but we have tried to stick to a tighter sort of definition of light, because light might be the most expanded definition within the state. Like when you look at LERDAs and how, you know, it's been manipulated, there's not like a perfect definition of what light is. It's almost like you decide to make of it,
Yeah.
and what you see in something.
Usually it's vacant.
Yeah,
Vacant over a year, deemed,
Right.
condemned by the
Right.
township, borough, or city, right?
You see things that are.
I mean, you guys got a lot of blighted structures up there. The one nasty house on 225 right by 3D's Ice Cream. We were supposed to demolish that, but we can't get ownership to it. You know, that house on the left hand
They
side.
recently,
before 3D.
there's one right around there that they just recently demolished.
Is that, I'm talking about the house right by 3D's. It's still.
Trying to think right at the basement, no?
Yeah, the base coming over right before 3D's on the left hand side.
yeah.
Like that's blight. I mean, there's trash sitting all in front of the house. It looks horrible. Like that house needs to be demolished. But the township couldn't get ownership of it, and we just can't go demo anything. Like you have to have some ownership or something. You know what I mean? That's part of the problem with the logistics of dealing with projects like that. It's hard to get ownership of something like that. If someone's paying their taxes, there's nothing. People call me all the time. We gotta get this demo. It's a hazard. Well, if they're paying their taxes, there's nothing we can do.
Yeah.
I can't go, well, you can, we don't like to do that.
Right.
I mean, but you can, but then you gotta pay whatever the fair market value of the house is, so we'd have to come up with money.
Yeah.
But demo fees don't allow for that.
Sorry, I don't want to get off track with that. If it's in like a high pedestrian area, what if it's a safety hazard?
Yeah,
Sure.
that's one of the regulations, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
And these blighted properties, would, like the money that we're talking about, that would go to the municipality to have it removed.
Whoever the owner is.
The owner.
Yes. The demo funds, you can for-profit, non-profit municipalities, it can go to anyone. There's no restrictions as far as who the grant dollars go to.
Okay.
But it has to be owner, title, owner. Yeah, well, we can take ownership too,
Yeah.
which then we get 50% of the tax back on whatever the end project is. But, you know, when we become owner, which is good for the tax purpose, but then there's carrying costs. And like he said, we don't have a lot of money, so I was just telling the lady on the phone, we don't want to hold anything for a long period of time because you got insurance costs,
Yeah.
vandalism, liability issues.
Yeah.
We don't want that. We want to be in and out of a partnership with the least amount of time possible, so we have no carrying costs and no issues. Because if something happens to someone in the building, we're liable for
Yeah,
it.
right,
We can
right,
get sued.
yeah.
So that's why we want someone else to hold that title. You know, but if we're in that title chain, we still get the 50% tax for 5 years. Go ahead, Madam, so.
No, that's it. No, that's good.
Been asked to be conservator too, from occasionally happens to.
We got a lot of, different kind of things. I'm trying to get a property, get it demolished or get it back to reuse. And, sometimes, you know, ownership, it's not easy when it's a blighted property and there's delinquent owners or owners you can't find that try to get a hold of it to do something. And we run through like this conservatorship, which I've never heard of.
Yeah.
And so we did it, process to be able to get a property and get it back to safe and back to productive use. We actually did do one, we sold it for how much?
Yeah, George did a
93,000.
really good job
The
there.
old,
Thank you, Dave. Give me credit around here.
I've never heard that. I've never heard anyone.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, it was listed
Did
for
it?
like 50,000 or something.
Yeah.
Hey, George.
George said, no, I'm ready to sell it.
Yeah.
Make the money.
It's
Terrible.
No, the board was against me. You
Yeah.
remember that?
Yeah.
I went against the board on that because the board was like, no, just get rid of it. And I said,
Made us
no, there's some
40 grand.
value to this property. Like it's on the 230 corridor.
It was
Like, why would you just let it go for that? You remember that, Terry?
I
And they
support
fought
it,
me.
George.
They fought me. And I was like, no, hold it
Yeah.
down. And we did it. I mean,
It
that
was a
was
big
good
I told
project.
you so moment. I was-
Yeah, you won. You're right.
No, they wanted, you were right, George, and I supported you.
Yeah.
You don't give stuff away for nothing.
So can I know why you're leaving? I mean, I'm sure Vince.
That's-
I gotta top that one.
You got double the, yeah.
Maybe we need to find more of those. So George can-
Those
Yeah.
projects are great, but they're hard to find.
They are.
I mean, and that project was a mess. It might have been worse than our first project which was Tuscarora, which I was talking to those guys on the phone about yesterday. But it was a bankruptcy. Someone died. We couldn't find the owner of the property. That was stuck in like some type of estate, something. And then the other two properties, like we couldn't get title, we couldn't get ownership to them.
Yeah.
It was a mess. But the 230 diner one was a mess because he hadn't paid his taxes. He owed a lot of taxes. We had to get those wiped out. And then, what was it? Was there a bankruptcy in that one? I don't think there was
Not that
bankruptcy.
one, but there was like 8 different parties involved because
Yeah, that was
there's a
nuts.
lot of moving
I had to go
parts.
back to the judge
Mhm.
a couple times, had to go through a process, yeah. And that's where it's costly, like so we did make money on that one, it worked out great. I think I was quick to try to pull the trigger on the first offer on it, because I didn't think there'd be anybody else. And, we had costs sunk into it, legal costs, time, and it just, if we break even, I feel pretty good about it.
Yeah.
But, and that came to us from Londonderry Township. They needed the help, and it was beyond the scope of what, a municipality can really do. So that's why we went to a land bank or a redevelopment authority, and we have other powers or, angles we can do. That's a perfect example of how we got involved. Our last say on the demolition fund, what we've often done also is combine, like, whether it's redevelopment authority or gaming money, or other state money, and just looking at how the demolition fund comes in as part of a broader project. And we're always looking at that with anything we have coming in, but the demo fund, I mean, it's real money. So you can come in, think of on average, we've taken the number down, but about 75,000 is sort of a target max. If it's a big project, we could go more. 50, I'm sorry. And we want to see that match coming in also. But there's some real flexibility in the program. So you'll definitely see, I'm sure coming, we'll see applications for demolition. We just had several in the last couple months come through here. Some approved, some don't.
Okay.
But there has to be, Mike and Maurice, there has to be a good end use.
Yeah.
So basically, we screen
Makes sense.
the applicants. And I was telling them on the phone yesterday, we don't want to bring people in here and waste their time. Like if you submit an app, we're not going to allow you just to come in and talk to the board if it's a bad project.
Yeah.
Where there's not a good end use, you don't have the money to finish the project, or there's a lot of deficiencies as far as the government goes of whatever's going on with the project. There's, permitting issues or code issues, or it's not in the ordinance, or whatever it may be. Like that's our job, is to screen those projects. So when someone comes in there to meet with you guys, we're not wasting your time. I don't want to waste your time. We want to bring you good, clean projects that you're going to approve because they're good projects and they qualify, right?
Okay.
Not all applications qualify. People may just check a box and they're lying or whatever. Who knows? But we're not going to bring them in here and waste your time. But sometimes that happens. And sometimes I may think a project's good and the board doesn't. That just happened. But they still voted for it. So I guess I was right again. You know what I'm talking about. So I mean, that happens. I mean, sometimes.
Final meeting, George.
George, that's what you really think about. Is that what we're coming to?
No, I mean,
That's going to be the end of redevelopment authority. We're going to get the full.
but sometimes I'm wrong, and sometimes I may think something's good. Like we had a project once where it was a great job creation piece and a good economic development project, but it didn't really meet the blighted vandalism,
Okay.
vacant category, right? But I thought it was good because there was like over 200 jobs that were going to be created, right?
Okay.
And it wasn't really a renovation. Like they took an existing structure and were renovating it to the way they wanted it, but it wasn't.
It
Like
had just been renovated within the last like 5 years.
Yeah.
10 years.
So I lost on that one, but I thought the job creation piece was good. I mean, you got to think 200 jobs in this area. That's a lot of jobs. So, I mean, that's why I thought we should engage, but they, you know, we didn't see eye to eye on that, and that's fine. You're not gonna get all your wins, then, so, I mean.
He's not gonna keep harping on it or anything.
So, yeah.
I'm gonna let him speak now, yes.
Yeah. Sorry, you know, have an outgoing executive director lying here like one last.
I'm sorry.
You're all right, George.
All right, anything else on demo? We don't have any project with that.
No.
You see the report, you see the projects we've done. Some of them you'll probably know. You'll read through them.
Yeah.
You might recognize the
Was
projects.
that this sheet here, this?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a full list. I mean, we're getting a little old now, so like that list is getting longer and longer. It's gonna have to go to 2 pages or retire somewhere.
First, yeah.
All right, the last thing, ethics forms. If you're not familiar with that,
Mhm.
you know, if you're on any state, county, government entity, you have to do an ethics form every year. Those
I
are
can
due.
send the electronic link around,
Okay.
and those of you, since you weren't, because these will be for 25.
Yeah. And they're due by May 1st.
Correct.
So you're gonna email them? Is that-
Yeah, but you won't have to do one for this board.
Okay.
Because these are for the preceding year. So these would have been.
Oh, that's
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
I
right.
remember doing them when I was on Borough Council.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the exact same form.
Yeah,
It's just a different box.
yeah.
I'm on a couple boards, so I have it all. I have a separate page. I just
Okay.
update it if I have to and write the new year in and sign it and done. So. But yeah, those have to be filed. I think they're just kept here
Yeah.
in the county. They don't go,
They say the chief clerk's office.
yeah, and it's just if anyone ever requests them.
Correct.
They're there, but really they just sit. No one's really reviewing them.
Yeah.
Unless somebody wants to come in and see.
Correct.
I wanna know about your mortgage.
You can. Come on. Kidding me?
Yeah, you can think of mine too.
Oh, my gosh. All right. Any board comments? Not, is there a motion to adjourn? Motion made, a second? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, we are adjourned.
Gotta get your name on this month, make sure that people know you're here doing something.
That's true, Terry.
That's what-
Get that voted.
Hey, thanks, John.
You don't want to vote on anything too
Thanks,
difficult
John.
first week, you know, just adjourn, you know.
We can end the stream and then no one else.